So today we are with Colin Martin of the Fayette County Chamber. He is the president and CEO. We've known Colin for about 2 years. He's been a client of ours for 2 years. Tell us a little bit about how you came to this community and what you did before you came to Fayette.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. This shirt was dry cleaned professionally by Dry Cleaning Connection, as all my clothes are. So thank you for what you guys do. But I came here in November of 2019 from Harris County, Georgia. I was president and CEO of the chamber there, which is a much smaller community, smaller community. Fayetteville alone is the size of that same whole county in terms of population, so it was a big change to come up here. Prior to that, I had worked for Congressman Lynn Westmoreland, and then prior to that, I had worked at the Columbus Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
Started out there as Vice President of Governmental Affairs.
Did you work for Mike?
I worked for Mike Gaiman.
Yeah.
So he's the one who hired me.
Good man.
And then, as I said, went to work for Lynn. So it's been pretty interesting to do all this. My wife is still in Columbus. She's a physician there.
Oh, goodness.
And, we'll eventually get her up here. It ended up being a lot more complicated than we thought.
I guess so, yeah.
But anyway, love being here. It's a great community. It's been just a tremendous move.
Yeah. So, obviously you've got a lot of experience in the state, and that's probably one of the main reasons why you were able to come to Fayette into this job. But a lot of folks, I was in the chamber business before we started Dry Cleaning Connection, and a lot of folks really don't know what a chamber does, what you do for the chamber, and kind of just give people a feel for the impact that a Chamber of Commerce has on a community, and especially in Fayette.
Sure. So a Chamber of Commerce is really an organization of businesses. We're an association of businesses, and we are specifically businesses that want to have good things happen in Fayette County. So sometimes those businesses are not located in Fayette County, but they want to do business here. A great example is Georgia Power, one of our I think they're a member of every chamber across the state.
I think
so.
So.
It's like a requirement they have to be.
Yeah. Well, isn't their motto is citizen everywhere we serve?
So one of the ways they do that is join chambers.
That's right.
And so they have an interest in what happens in Fayette County. But then we have businesses that are actually located here. And we work on a variety of things. We have a governmental affairs committee to make sure that our state, federal, and local governments hear the voice of business, but also get a chance to connect with businesses through us. That's an important role almost every chamber plays. We do training for our members right now because of coronavirus and all the things, the social distancing, we're doing it by webinars. But on Wednesdays, we have training videos or training webinars so that our owners and business people can learn how to do their businesses better. And then we do things to promote those businesses. A great example is our Small Business Expo in September. That's an opportunity for people to come to a central location and see all the businesses that are in and around Fayette County. So it's just, those are the kind of things we do every day: promote, protect, and serve businesses.
Well, you mentioned the expo. I've been to the expo a number of years, and you guys put on a great expo. It's really a central hub where you can find out a lot about businesses in the community, and they can share with you in a good way, an easy way, what they do, and you can kind of find new resources. You mentioned the coronavirus and the fact that you kind of had to shift. And just as a side note to that question, what have you seen, like your members? How are they reacting, and how are they shifting as well because of what's going on? And how long do you think it's going to last, or do you think, is this a new normal, like they say?
I think there's a certain amount of new normal to it. We've all become experts at Zoom. I think,
yeah.
Or whatever your version of video conferencing is. So I do think it's a new normal. We had a meeting here this morning of our executive committee of the chamber, and we walked away saying, this may be how we do executive committees meetings forever, because it's convenient. They can do it from their office. We had one guy who was in line at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
So I think some of those things are going to be a new normal. Other businesses have shifted. We've seen the restaurants that have gone from an in-person model to a curbside drive-through model. I'll talk about one of our great members who's done a great job, She Craft Co. up in Tyrone.
Yeah.
Shifted very quickly to doing curbside service and has done a great job. And that's been repeated many different restaurants here in town. So I do think there's a new normal, but it's going to stay because people like it that way.
Right.
Now on the other hand, we had our what we call our B2B breakfast yesterday. We did it by Zoom. We call it now the BYOB, bring your own breakfast.
Yeah.
I could tell in talking to people, they are dying to get together in this room where we are right now and get belly to belly, face to face with their friends and go back to in-person networking. They miss that.
Yeah.
So I think those kind of things are going to be, we're going to continue to do in person as soon as it's safe. And I think we're almost there. People are feeling more comfortable. They're knowing what to do. Wash your hands, use hand sanitizers, keep distance as much as possible, wear a mask, particularly around those that are vulnerable. People are adapting those permanently, so we'll be able to get together more in person.
Sure.
In the future.
So, Colin, tell me a little bit about Fayette, the community itself. What's happening here. What draws people to Fayette? Maybe even some of the things that are unique that people might not know about Fayette, but you do.
Well, I will tell you this. So it's been a learning curve for me to learn about Fayette County. One of the things that I find fascinating is we are a hidden jewel on the South Metro side of Atlanta. And people come down here, from Buckhead or downtown Atlanta. They come visit us like, wow, I didn't know this was here. Peachtree City, obviously, Georgia's first planned community. We hear about the suburbs. Peachtree City was really kind of the first suburb.
Yeah.
It was the first planned community. The golf cart paths there. And it's a community that was built on the airline industry. A lot of the early residents were pilots and involved in the airline industry at the airport. That's changed now. Advanced manufacturing's there. We've got a lot of well-educated people who are not involved in the airline industry. We went from a predominant airline to now that's just a small slice of what's Peachtree
Sure.
City. You've got Fayetteville, which is the county seat. Typical county seat. The courthouse is not too far from here. Yet, as most everyone knows, not too far from where we're standing, world-class movie facilities where all the Marvel movies were made, and they're making advances on making some of the most cool cinema products over there going forward. So this traditional little small southern town is the epicenter of what's the future of Hollywood.
Sure.
So that's kind of an interesting thing. And then you've got even small town feel like Brooks and Woolsey, which is, both are great little communities, a little bit of a throwback to what Fayette County used to be like. And then Tyrone's going to explode here. I think it's the next big story. They're building a new town hall. They're putting in some infrastructure. They're the closest to Atlanta and getting access there. So there's a lot of exciting things going on here. It's a beautiful community, great people. And we're working to attract folks here. That's one of our big initiatives is talent attraction and retention, helping people aware that we're here, the great schools we have here, the great community. Come live down here.
Yeah, actually, when we moved down here 10 years ago, I swore, we're North Siders. My wife and I grew up in Smyrna, and we seem to keep going back there over the past 40 years of our lives, but we swore we'd never live south of I-20, unless you're going to be south of the Georgia border. And we've just really been thrilled with just the entire feel. And you've got so many different ways to live here. And that's really the cool thing, and different ways to work here too. So on the, kind of a piggyback to that, and you mentioned the Pinewood and the studios. But one of the great things about being involved in the chamber, whether you're involved as an employee or whether you're involved as a member, you find out things that typically the rest of the community doesn't know about until it starts to happen. I know that when I was involved with the chamber, that we knew about Pinewood, before Pinewood even broke ground, but before even the property was purchased. And so, is there something maybe and that's the other thing. When you're in economic development, you can't always talk about things, right? You can't, because it's just one of the things that the people who are coming in don't want everyone to start bombarding them. I know when the Amazon thing was announced in Noonan, I can't even imagine what it was like for Amazon, people pounding and wanting to be a vendor or an employee. But is there something you can talk about maybe that's on the verge or in the near future?
Well, I'll say this now, just to be clear, and this is more for people who may be wondering. We're not the economic development of Fayette County. There's a development authority that does that work. Some chambers do that. When I was at Columbus Chamber, we did do
right.
Not me personally, but we had a team that did the economic development. It's been pretty well known. The community's working on a data center, and that continues to make progress, and we're going to get that eventually here. And there's some other economic development projects going on. Here's the good news about that. communities are still able to grow. Economic development is still happening, even in the midst of the coronavirus. Now, I will tell you something that we'll kind of break a little news here on two things. We are going to announce probably in the next week a way for our small businesses to save cash flow for their businesses through an exchange that'll be exclusive to chamber members.
Cool.
We're going to announce that here once we have signed the dotted line. And then the other thing is not quite ready to announce where yet, but the Small Business Expo, because of coronavirus, is outside this year.
Oh, cool.
We've typically done it in a hotel because that worked, but people I think are going to be afraid to go in crammed into a hotel ballroom. So we're going to do it outside this year, have more of a festival atmosphere. We're going to have food trucks, and that's going to probably be announced here in the next week or so. And that'll be, I think, a lot of fun. It'll just bring a different kind of feel to our expo. It'll be the 30th anniversary, so we're going to drop it in a new way.
Yeah, that's great. That sounds like a lot of fun. And what are the dates on that again?
The September 24th will be the expo. Mm-hmm. So it'll still be a little hot out there, but hopefully that also means people will get out and walk around and see all the different vendors. And it's going to be an afternoon, early evening as always. And then, as I said, this exchange we're going to announce, and it's going to be really cool. It's going to be a unique thing that, as far as I know, we're the only chamber in Georgia that's going to be doing it. Mm-hmm. It'll be an opportunity.
Is it like a barter type thing?
I don't want to get too much away,
all right.
But I think people will be excited about it.
Well, that sounds very, very cool. If you're in this community, if you're interested in being in this community, I can tell you that my entire life changed the day I got involved in the Chamber of Commerce. That story is out there on the internet if you want to read it. It's not for today, but it's amazing the people you meet and the access you have to opportunities and resources and ideas. And I will tell you the most important thing that I can tell you about being a member of a chamber is you'd be amazed what you can learn from somebody and save you 20, 30 years of trial and error. You can learn something and apply it in your business right away just by meeting somebody, and you get to share those things with other people too. So this is the what I call the house of business. That's what Chamber of Commerce really is. And if you're not a member of the Fayette Chamber, you really should be, because it's a dynamic organization that's making a lot of difference in this community. And this community is thriving. I will tell you, the Southern Crescent, man, this is, for 5 years we've been being told that, the North Side's just not, there's nowhere left to grow. It's coming here, and we better be ready for it. And no better way than be plugged into a Chamber of Commerce like the Fayette Chamber. So
I'll just mention one
Sure.
thing. People think about the chamber as being networking, and unfortunately networking, and we are, but people
Right.
think networking is going to an event and handing out a business card.
Right.
But networking at the chamber is really about meeting people, making connections, working side by side on community issues, and building those relationships. Those are what's meaningful and have a bigger impact on your business than anything else.
Oh, without a doubt.
So we want folks to be involved. It's not just paying your dues and letting us entertain you. It's you coming and getting involved and having an impact in the community and connecting with other business leaders.
Well, I'm really glad you said that, because a lot of people do misunderstand, and that is, I paid my $500 or $600, and that ought to be enough. No, the truth is that gets you access to be a part of something, and when you do work side by side with somebody on something of importance, your entire life changes, and so does the community. So, Colin, thank you so much for being with us today. And I really appreciate you being a client as well, but we appreciate the opportunity to be involved in the Fayette Chamber.
I appreciate you being a client, because when I go to my closet, I got clean clothes. So believe me.
Well, that's great. That's what it's all about. We want to make everybody have the opportunity to look great, save time, and live better. And we hopefully do that for you. And I know that being a part of a Fayette Chamber will make you live better. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it very much.